Yo, what is going on, fans and coaches of the ASL? My name is Sucho322, and today, guys, we are back with another ASL weekly recap. And today, guys, we have the ASL Season 3 playoffs, and we have the round 1 of the playoffs. There are 3 rounds in the playoffs. Doesn't matter if you're talking about the consolation bracket or if you're talking about the real bracket. There are 3 rounds, so you got round 1. You got the semifinals, and you have the championships. So anyways, as you could see on your screen, you have 6 games played out in front of you. The top 2 matches, like the first 2 matches listed, are the actual playoffs, and everything below that is in the consolation bracket. So without further ado, I think we're gonna go ahead and hop right into this video. So first up, we have the Arcane Arcanines taking on the Inner Milotic, and this was actually an upset game. Static pulling out the W as he was the number 6 seed, taking on the number 3 seed. So actually, let me go ahead and update that. So Ian was the number 3 seed, and Static was the number 6 seed. Let me get that underline right there. So there you go for you guys. It is one of the upsets, one of many. I will say, I'm pretty sure all but one match was an upset. This was an insane week. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the match. So first we have a Star Raptor. Is going to U-turn on the Clefable. Out comes a Cryogonal. And Cryogonal is actually going to go for the knockoff. So showing off a little bit of tech on Ian's part. So I like it. But Clefable is going to go for the Calm Mind right there. As Finny is going to be in, as back comes the Cryogonal, as Clefable is sitting at +2, but Cryogonal is just going to go ahead and go for the Haze. As Flamethrower really does nothing because Cryogonal is a very specially defensive Pokemon. So it is going to get burned, which is going to ultimately hinder its survivability. So that's a little annoying, but it does have access to the recover. So that is very nice. That's very nice for Ian. But anyways, out comes the Rotom Heat, as Finny is actually going to set up a Calm Mind of its own. So back-to-back Calm Minders, as out comes the Alomomola. It can really take any hit from this thing, as Tapu Fini is going to hit the +2, and Alo's going to be taunted, so Ian's going to make a great play there. Out comes Crobat, and this Fini is setting up so much. Crobat is going to go for the Acid Downpour. Is not going to kill the Fini, and it actually lives on 1. It literally does 100%. Crobat, it's not even just 1%, it's literally 1 hit point. Just absolutely insane. Out comes Scizor. Goes to the Bullet Punch, as Static is going to predict that and go into his Rocky Helmet Alomomola. So Ian is going to go ahead and U-turn out into Tapu Fini, as Alomomola really, realistically cannot do anything to this thing, so he's pretty safe. So out comes Rotom, probably predicting the Moonblast, but it can take the Surf anyways, and get all that yummy health back with the Wish, so it doesn't really matter in the long run. Rotom is going to go for the Volt Switch, get into Crobat so it can U-turn again on this Kudra. Keep that Crobat alive to potentially kill the Finny in the future, plus it's got really good speed. So Ian is going to make a great play here, go for the counter with the Gudra and get rid of Conkeldurr, which was honestly a really big threat to his team. He doesn't have very many swap-ins. Out comes Crobat, is going to be able to revenge the Gudra, but now Cryogonal can come in and kill the Crobat, since Crobat is now slower. So the Cryogonal is going to go for that recover, as Clefable goes for the Moonblast. Just potentially trying to get the special attack drop off. That'd be my guess. But Cold Keystrador gonna go for that knockoff. Wants to get rid of the leftovers, just to make this thing less of a nuisance. So out comes Rotom Heat, and predicting the Electric type move, Ian's gonna go into Jolteon, but Static's going to make the great play, go for Overheat. As Jolteon is actually going to Baton Pass, getting into the Staraptor to get a big hit off on this Clefable. This is kind of a winning battle for Clefable because it's not doing that much, and Staraptor is continuously taking recoil. Anyways, out comes the Crobat. And Crobat, despite being on 1% for so long, is finally going to drop. It did do very well. It lasted a long time. And that Overheat miss is huge. That means this Jolteon is still in the match. And Rotom is still pressured to take it out now. So Cryogonal is going to come in here, as it is obviously Ian's dedicated swap in. Goes for the Freeze Dry and actually gets the Freeze. So very lucky shenanigans there, so to speak. Out comes Staraptor. Since Staraptor can kind of pressure this thing, so he's going to go for the U-turn. Get into Cryogonal. Basically, what Ian's probably trying to do right now is pivot around enough to make it so Bullet Punch from Scizor kills. That would be my guess. But anyways, the Rotom is going to go for the Overheat. Does not pick up the kill on the Cryogonal, and Cryogonal can actually just recover off this damage next turn, as it will not kill. So he's just going to recover. And now that Aloe comes out, it can actually go ahead and go for the Freeze Dry. Okay. I just had to... Okay, we're good now. I have all the seeds updated. But anyways, this is a very long battle, as you can see right off the bat. But anyways, Rotom is going to go for the Volt Switch and heavily weakens Tapu Fini. And Tapu Fini's lack of recovery is going to mean that it's basically going to drop here, as Clefable's going to go for the Soft Boiled. So Ian makes a risky play, but it definitely pays off, because now you're going to be able to see that Tapu Fini is actually going to beat this Clefable. So Tapu Fini, the #1 defensive Mon, showing how much of a monster it is. It does unfortunately go down to the Volt Switch, and it is 3-3 at this point. Aloe comes in on Staraptor, so Static definitely gets the better hand of that. And Jolteon is going to go for the Baton Pass. Very good play. He doesn't really gain a whole ton, just because he's probably just going to U-turn again. But he actually gets the Roost off. So, yeah, he has to just sack his Scizor here, because the problem is Rotom Heat literally runs a house on the rest of his team. So out comes Staraptor, and Staraptor basically claims a kill. It's going to go for the Double Edge, just 59%. And by doing that, Ian just lost himself the match. To be fair, he would have had to pull some immaculate doubles to win it anyways, but Zygarde's 50% E-Speed just comes through and is able to clean up. If he didn't have extreme speed, there is a good chance that Static actually loses that match. But anyways, the Arcane Arcanines are going to be knocked out of the playoffs. Ian, you had a great run, and Static, we will see you in the next round. Next up, we have another upset. We have the New Atlanteans taking on the Portland Timbers, and this was an upset, like I said. Oh my god, these tabs are so unupdated, my lord. It was a 2-0. I mean, yeah, these are all good. It's just this one. Whatever. Anyways, let's go ahead and hop right into the match. We have Mega Gallade leading against Rotom Frost. I figured, you know, she's probably going to lead like Suicune or Shaman or something. I'm just going to go into my Fortress. Lari's actually going to pull out a Great Set and use the Will-O-Wisp, as Fortress is just going to get its Stealth Rocks up. As Gallade is going to go for the knockoff. Get rid of the Fortress's Akaberry, as Fortress is just going to go ahead and go for the Gyro Ball. Fortress can live another Drain Punch and just start trying to pressure this thing with Gyro Ball. It does get a fortunate crit there, as Fortress is eventually going to drop to the Mega Gallade, but it did end up getting Stealth Rocks up. And I'm going to go bluff the Choice Scarf actually, and I'm going to set up a Substitute. Now this is huge because it allows me to go for the Bolt Strike freely on this Suicune without worrying. I don't have to make any predictions. So, I'm going to swap out Victini, go into the Rotom Frost, which is actually Choice Specs. So, Suicune is going to go for the rest. And assuming I don't want this thing to stay in, or she doesn't want this thing to stay in, I still just go for the Thunderbolt. And that is a Spudaff T-Tar, like, my god. Hippowdon gonna come out on the T-Tar. As Hippowdon, go ahead and go for the Roar, I predict Suicune or Shaman to come in, so I just go for the Roar, get Crobat or Golbat in, which is very, very nice. Vaporeon gonna come in here. Unfortunately, has to take a Toxic, which I'm not too much of a fan of, but it is what it is. Golbat is then going to go for the Taunt as I go for the Wish, so a little unfortunate there. So this Golbat putting a lot of pressure on the Vaporeon. As out comes the Rotom, which honestly she does not have a single swap into Rotom. She has to basically predict, because if I make the prediction correct, it just blows her back. Like that was a hidden power ground, and it did that much. So Mega Gallade gonna claim a second kill of the match, and Rotom Frost is gonna go down. Out comes Virizion. Virizion Choice Scarf just goes for the Leaf Blade. Goes ahead and gets rid of the Glade. Gotta swap out here. Go into the Vaporeon since Vaporeon is not very useful. Predicting the taunt, I'm gonna go ahead and go for the Scald. The taunt was too obvious, so I'm gonna unfortunately get the burn, which is really, really nice. Dasani, it's been kind of pressured a lot, or no, it's just been kind of, yeah, it's just been taunt pressured, but anyways, I'm gonna go into the Victini predicting the Roost. Out comes Suicune on the Bolt Strike. It is going to be able to take another one. I believe I just Bolt Strike again. Yes, I just do Bolt Strike again. As I can just Victini can just go ahead and go for the V-Crate to claim its first kill of the match. And out comes Excadrill, and since Victini is at -1 speed, I'm not running the glorious Trick Room set. I gotta go into Hippo. Excadrill does not do that much to Hippo, revealing that it is leftovers. Lari whipping out that nice tech, goes for the Magnet Rise. That's actually really genius. So it forces me to roar. Gets into Suicune, which I'm kind of okay with since it is sleeping, but I have to swap out. Go to my Virizion, hope that there's no Scald. There's the Scald. If it burns, I'm kind of screwed. But no burn. Predicting the Golbat, gonna go ahead and go for that Stone Edge. And I made a lot of predictions, but ultimately helped me out. Anyways, Tyranitar is gonna come out since Lari does know that I'm Choice Scarf at this point. Going into Vaporeon, Lari is going to make the prediction that I go, or that that I would just stay in, but fair prediction. Obviously had the Flamethrower there for the Fortress. And Tyranitar is going to go for the Rock Slide, get rid of the Vaporeon. Out comes Victini. Victini is going to go for the Brick Break as Suicune is going to come in. And Suicune is not taking a Bolt Strike. Victini is going to go ahead and sub up here just in case Excadrill wants to come in, because if Excadrill comes in on a Bolt Strike, she actually might win the game. That double might have won her the game. That's why I didn't want to risk it. So Victini is just going to go for the Bolt Strike. Very, very nice, taking care of that threat. Excadrill going to go for the Earthquake. And it's up to Lari's Sand Core to save for the game. And since this is Sand Force Hippo, I want to make sure that I'm full health. And that this Earthquake is going to just blow it away. Out comes Tyrantrum. Or not Tyrantrum, oh my god. Tyranitar. Lari is going to go for her only play, which is the Rock Slide Flinch. And Hippowdon is going to go for the Earthquake and finish off the Tyranitar. And the Portland Timbers are going to be moving on to the next round of the playoffs. And Lari, you had a phenomenal season. Next up, diving into the Constellation Bracket, we have the Contract Killers taking on the St. Louis Swablues, Anderson taking on Malone. As Lucario is one of the weekly heroes, picking up 4 kills in this match. And getting a nice little sleep at the end. So let's hop right into the match. We got Zydoge up against Vikavolt. And Zydoge going to go with the Toxic. I'm not sure about that one. I guess Malone's just running a stall set. Okay. Vikavolt's going to get rid of the Zydoge on the second turn of the match. And then Vikavolt is going to immediately drop to the Delphox. And Malone is going to get hit up with a knockoff, losing its Iapapa Berry. And then Electros is going to kill it with U-turn, so I don't really understand that play. Like, why? Wheezing is going to go for the Toxic onto the Electros, definitely going to be able to weaken the Electros. Malone going into Sylveon, predicting that knockoff. He's going to go for the Protect just to get a little bit of Toxic stall, so good play on Malone's part to be able to get off more Toxic damage and ultimately kill the Electros. And Anderson not wanting to Mega Evolve his Abomasnow, very smart play because Abomasnow does actually get soundproof. So that's something to think about. Malone is going to go for the Willows, possibly fearing a Swords Dance. I would have definitely Sludge Bomb just to get the show damage off. But he's going to pull a great double into Wheezing on the Togekiss. But he's actually going to swap out into Sylveon. I don't understand that play. Do you not have an attacking move? Like that's like the only conclusion to me. But anyways, Lucario gonna go for the Nasty Plot as Wheezing is going to get the Wish back. This is gonna be a +4 Lucario. Wheezing is gonna miss the Willis. That doesn't matter at all. It's a special Lucario. It doesn't matter at all. Malone is gonna go for the Roost, and that's a huge misplay if he actually is Psychic, because he could have done a ton of damage. And if Gator had like Aqua Jet, he could have killed. But if it was an offensive Mew, if it was like fully offensive Mew, it could have been good to go. But as you can see, that Waterfall would have killed. I mean, it would have bettered the differential. So I really don't understand why Malone roosted there. But anyways, Lucario going to pick up a nice little sweep at the end, as the Contract Killers are going to win a 4-0 match over the St. Louis Swablues. And Anderson moving on to the next round of the Constellation Bracket. And Malone, I'm sorry, but your season is going to end here. Next up, we have the Keldeo Hub Resolutes taking on the Royale Gardevoir. But, unfortunately, that is not the match that you see in the replay, because this match actually got forfeited because they played the game. Gustavo won. He won like 5-0 or something. I don't know. And none of them actually saved the replay. Apparently it was a great match too, so that's really aggravating to me, just because apparently it was a great match and they didn't save the replay. So anyways, the Royale Gardevoir are going to be moving on with a 4-0 victory, and the Keldeo Hub Resolutes, I'm sorry Ghost, but your season is going to go ahead and end here. So to the actual match that's on the replay, we have the Denver Numbers taking on the Nightmare Nidoking, and another upset. The Nightmare Nidoking did win a 3-0 victory on the back of Silvally, picking up 3 kills. And let's hop into it. We got a Milotic taking on a Registeel. Very much favors the Master, but he's actually going to swap out into the Moltres, probably wanting to get in before those get up, these Stealth Rocks. Out comes Snorlax. Snorlax is a dead counter to this Moltres. As you're going to see, that does 19%. And I'm assuming Fire Blast does even less because it might be Thick Fat or its immunity, but it just has a great special defense stat in general. Like, I like the... No, I'm not gonna make that metaphor. I was about to say, oh, Snorlax is a Chansey that can actually hit. No, it's different than a Chansey. Anyways, because I was like, oh, but rocks and oh, recovery. Never mind. Anyways, Snorlax is going to be able to easily 2-KO the Tapu Koko, which has one of the worst differentials. Tapu Koko had a terrible differential. The Master did not use that thing well. But Mega Lopunny is going to come right back and kill the Snorlax. And the Master is actually going to let his Mega Lopunny go. I don't agree with that play at all. There's still a Silvally, which you don't know the typing of. There's a Registeel, which you need to kill. I'm done questioning plays at this point. People just don't... I don't get it. Maybe I just don't understand the correct play. I don't know. Anyways, the Master's going to go ahead and go for the Haze with the Milotic, making it so these Zardex cannot set up on its face. He's going to pick a perfect time to go for the Toxic. His Tapu Bulu is going to come in as the Master's forced into his Moltres, and the Stone Edge is definitely going to kill now. Even with a Chardy Berry. Just because he got in on Stealth Rocks. And he's going to go for the Roost now. just so he can take another Stealth Rock swap in a little bit more comfortably. As Ardex is going to go ahead and Dragon Dance, as it's going to take a ton of damage from that Hurricane. And Moltres is going to be able to live a Dragon Claw just because it is physically bulky. I think Roosting there might have been the better play. But anyway, Silvally is going to come in and go for the Surf. And out comes Jirachi. And this thing is going to be able to go for the Flamethrower. Do a nice little 37% to the Jirachi. As Jirachi can go for the Wish. And this Silvally is going to start putting on a lot of pressure. And Flamethrower is actually going to burn, which 10% chance to burn. So technically he then had a 20% chance because he went for it twice. Anyways, Jirachi is going to get the Wish back. He's going to go for the Iron Head and actually doesn't flinch. Silvally going to go for the Flamethrower. That's big because that does force out the Jirachi. I think the Master should have wished anyways, fearing a potential crit. So I think that was kind of on him. And then he's going to crit the Milotic. Silvally the crit machine. Anyways, Draco's going to come in through and does not pick up the kill and is going to go for the Ice Beam. And another Draco is not going to kill, so Silvally going to come in here, go for another Ice Beam, and Silvally is being an absolute monster right now. And Jirachi's going to outspeed it and can actually just go for the Iron Head. And out comes Azelf. Azelf can go for the Side Shock, it doesn't kill though, as the Master wants to play the Wish Stall. Predicting the Protect, Anaria is going to go Registeel. Show off some potential heat, but otherwise he is not bringing heat this week. Is just going to go for the Seismic Toss. Do a comfortable amount of damage. And honestly, there's really no way for the Master to win this game. So it's a stally end. Let's just, there's a Seismic Toss, there's an Iron Head. I like how the Master hardly flinches, and I like how as I say that he flinches. So there's a couple Seismic Tosses, there's another Seismic Toss, and because Burn's nerf, he's not gonna die. He's gonna step Stealth Rocks. The Master just conceding. Thank you, friend. You make videos shorter. Thank you, friend. Anyways, the Nightmare Nidoking are going to move on, winning a 3-0 victory over the Denver Nummels. Those two crits were kind of significant. I still think Anaria would have won just because Silvally put on a ton of pressure. And yeah, Silvally being one of the weekly heroes. So let's go ahead and hop right into the next game. We have the Utah Hoots taking on the Florida Floatals, as Cofagrigus was one of the weekly heroes, picking up 3 kills, as Susie's actually going to 6-0 Rocker. And this game really disappointed me. This game really disappoints me because Rocker had a decent season, 5-8. That's not bad, especially from not having won a game last season. But he just gave up in this game, and that really makes me sad. Oh God, hold up. How do turn music off? Okay. Figured it out. Okay, we're good. Yeah, he kind of just gave up through this game, and it kind of made me sad just because he had such a good game or a good season. But anyways, Marowak is going to go for the knockoff, get rid of the Rocky Helmet on the Milk Tank, and this thing is going to Milk Drink. And honestly, Susie's core of Milk Tank and Cofagrigus is pretty unbeatable if you have Rocker's team. Slowbro is going to go for the Calm Mind and actually stays down on Raikou. Okay, not the counter, my friend. Anyways, out comes the Cofagrigus, as Rocker's gonna go into Araquanid, and Cofagrigus can confidently take hits from this, but he wants to go into Miltank, and he's actually gonna Spiderweb and swap out. I don't understand that because you can just go ahead and Toxic and rest it up. Like, the Spiderweb set is Spiderweb, Rest, Toxic, Liquidation. So you could have just claimed a kill and got rid of Miltank. So I don't really know why you'd swap out there. But anyways, gonna go into Serena on the Raikou. Raikou puts a ton of pressure on Rocker's team. He doesn't have the greatest swap-ins to it. So he really has to maintain health on Serena. And with T-Spikes up, that's gonna be very, very difficult. And Rocker's gonna double into Slowbro, predicting, I don't even know. Then he's gonna double in a Marowak, maybe predicting Miltank, I guess. And then probably predicting Miltank. And then Landers is gonna be in here. Landers is just gonna go for the Earthquake. Whereas Rocker's going to say that he does not need his Alola Marowak anymore. So Cofagrigus is going to come out, and Rocker's going to pull a double into Slowbro again. Why does he keep pulling the same double? I don't understand. Anyways, Susie's going to go into Raikou. As Raikou puts a ton of pressure on this Slowbro. As Rocker is going to swap into this Thunderstarian, predicting the Thunderbolt. That is not the case. And down goes his Thundurus to the next Rock Switch, and he's actually going to sack it here as he goes for the U-turn, so it's dying unless he can get a spin-off, which is very unlikely. And he goes into Slowbro, maybe predicting an HP Ice. That's not Susie's play. Susie's play is Shadow Ball. I don't understand that play at all. And then just sacks his Thunderstarian anyways. Like, fill me in, please. I want to understand, friends. Then goes Araquanid. Why Susie swapped out, I will never understand on the face of the earth. Unless he's fearing Wakan. I don't even know. Like, that was a free Thunderbolt, my guy. I guess he wanted to show off the hidden Miltank tech. But Ment's gonna D-dance, as I'm pretty sure Miltank had already shown Ice Punch. So Rocker's gonna try and D-dance up on that. I'm not sure that Dragon Dance Mence was the brain, because it kind of just gets destroyed by everything. But Cofagrigus is basically just gonna be able to sit here and win the game, and Susie's just gonna go for the Haze. He really had no reason to do that. I guess just to ensure this Hex would kill, I guess. As Serena's gonna go for the Trap Kick, and Cofagrigus is just going to go for the Hex and get rid of Serena, and that is going to be the game. The Utah Hoots are going to win a 6-0 victory over the Florida Floatzels. And here are the upcoming playoff matches, playoffs round 2, also known as the semi-finals. And as you can see there, we have 1 versus 5, 2 versus 6, 7 versus 10, and 13 versus 12. So a lot of upsets happened in this week. Like, there was one match that wasn't an upset. That was Brad over Malone. That was the only match that wasn't an upset. All five of the other matches were upsets. I know Ghosts and Gustavo's match was a forfeit, but Ghost won the game, or Ghost lost the game, and he even admitted it. He's like, yeah, Gustavo beat me. I could just give him the forfeit. So that was really cool of Ghost, not forcing them to play the game again since they didn't get a replay. So anyways, 8 teams left in it, 6 teams are knocked out, and thank you all for watching this weekly recap, and I will see you guys all in the next week of weekly recap, and it's going to be a hype one. We're going to determine who's going to the finals. We're that close to the finals. Definitely leave a like down below, subscribe if you have not already, and go ahead and check out the link to the ASL Discord. It's a very hype place and a great community and place to be. Yeah, and we got playlists down below, so definitely go check those out. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.